أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Alhamdulillah, we start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send our salam and salawat on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are going through this journey to understand the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're trying to learn Arabic of the Quran. And we said our intention is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our time and effort that we are giving to learn something from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, we have done 7 classes so far, so 7 weeks. And last week we had a quick exam, a quiz. And inshallah tomorrow, when we're going to do the exercise of today's lesson, I'll bring the answers for the exam, so everybody who took the exam, inshallah, you can match your answers. And I will give some of the brothers, the test papers. I'll give them back, inshallah. So before we start today, very quickly, look at this picture. This is for the last 7 class. I'm going to send this, as I said, always send this via email. So brothers who has given me their email address, so I'll send it to you. So this is in one look the 7 lessons that we have done so far. So it looks a bit scary, but still, if you go through it, it's not that difficult. All of this, you know this. So we've done this one, okay? So we said there are 3 types of words in Arabic, which is ism, harf, and fail. And we know the definition, what is ism, what is harf, and what is fail. Then we talked about the 4 properties of ism. Like a car has 4 wheels, we said, every ism has 4 properties. So any ism you look, you should be able to say 4 properties. What are these 4 properties? Status, number, gender, and type. And we started with the status because that is the bigger part. What is status? Status is in a sentence, what is the ism doing? Is it the one that is doing the action, or is it the details of the thing? So we call rafa, nasab, and jar. And remember, the jar is the word that comes after the of. And we're going to talk a lot about today jar, because today is our new lesson, but we have to talk about jar today. Then we said how to tell the status, because in English we had to put the words in an order. Like if I say I am talking, I must be the beginning. I can't say talking, am I, it doesn't make sense. But in Arabic, you can put the orders in different orders, as long as the form is right. And that's why we say how we're going to tell which word in the sentence is doing the job. So we know there are ways to tell that, and that is by the ending sound. Like Muslim, we take the word Muslim, we said Muslimun, Musliman, and Muslimin, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. And also the ending combination, like when it is plural number or dual number, we say Muslimuna or Muslimina. So when it's going to be Muslimuna, so if I say I helped 3 Muslims, so the word will be that I help Muslimina, meaning they are the Nasab. Or if I say the other way around, the 2 Muslim is walking in front of the masjid, so that it will be Muslimani, because this is the Rafa version of the chart. And we had the chart. I have sent the chart to everybody. Everybody must remember and memorize the chart. Then we talked about what is heavy and what is light. In Arabic, most of the words are heavy, meaning their ending sound is like an N sound, either because of they have the tanween like Muslimun, or they have a combination like una or ina at the end. But there are few cases we have to make a word from heavy to light. And when you make a word heavy to light, we take the N sound out of it. So Muslimun become Muslimu, Musliman become Muslima, Muslimin become Muslimi. So instead of the tanween, we have one fatha, one kasra, or dhamma. Okay, like Muslimaini become Muslimai. So the N sound or the N combination, we take it out, and that's become light. And light is also very important for today's lesson that we're going to do, inshallah ta'ala. Then we talked about flexibility. What is flexible mean? There are words, they never change. Like, on the other side we say that word change because of the status. But there are words that never change, like the word like Musa, the word like Isa. They never change, whether they are Rafa, Nasab, or Jar. And there are some words, they are partly flexible. Sometimes they change, sometimes they doesn't change. And in a partly flexible, we say the name of the non-Arab names and also places. So like, my name is Roni. Roni is not an Arab name. So it's partly flexible, meaning it doesn't have all the Rafa, Nasab, and Jar version, okay? And then we say that, for partly flexible. They cannot have tanween and they cannot take the kasra. That's why, when you find the names, and as I said, there are 25 names of prophets in the Quran, and other names also, like names like Maryam, okay, names like Pharaoh, most of the names of the Quran, except for 4 names, are non-Arab names. So Dawood, Ibrahim, Sulaiman, they are not Arabic names, they are non-Arab names, and that's why they are partly flexible. That's why you will never find Ibrahim with a kasra at the end, Ibrahimi. You will never find this one. You will never find, Dawoodi or Sulaiman. It will be Ibrahimu or Ibrahima, depending on their status. Okay. Then we talked about numbers. That there are 3 kinds of number in Arabic. Singular, dual, and plural. And then in the plural, we have different categories. We talked about this one. I don't want to go into the details. We have the lecture notes there. And also we talked about gender, masculine and feminine. We said most of the words are masculine, but there are some feminine words and there are some rules for the feminine words. How do you know the feminine words? They finish with tam or buta. Also, they are broken plurals are feminine, and all the body parts that comes in pair, like hands, eyes, ainun, uzunun, okay, and yadun, all the hands, all these body parts are feminine. They are feminine number. Also, we said there are a list of words. They are feminine because the Arab said so, because there's no other rule. And we had a small story, like the sky is feminine, Shams is feminine, okay, Ard is feminine, Sabil is feminine, Dillu is feminine, the bucket, Dar means house is feminine, Nar is feminine, Jahannam is feminine, Asa means stick, that is feminine, Khamar is feminine. So all this word we have known, we have given you the list already, inshallah ta'ala. Then at the end we talked about the type. Type means is it something, is it specific or is it common? Like if I say a boy, I don't know which boy you're talking about. Waladun, it means could be anything. So that's a common or general thing. But if I say that no, al waladu, or if I call someone by name, then it's a specific. And there are 7 ways that you can say specific. It can be a proper noun. It has the al in it. It could be pronoun, pointers. Pointers means zalika, tilka, or ism mausul, like alladina, allazi, all these words, ya ayyuhalladina amanu, all these words are ism mausul, they are proper. Okay? Or also the one being called the ya Allah, ya Rab, these are all proper words. Okay? And also we talked about we'll talk about this on today also. The word after of is proper, then the word before of is proper. So this is in a glance that we have done in our last 7 lessons. And some of the brothers took the exam. So inshallah ta'ala we have revised this. If anyone have any question, you can catch me anytime in any prayer time, and I can answer your question as long as if it's under my ability, inshallah ta'ala. So today we're going to start a new lessons, okay? The new lessons is called fragments, okay? In English we call fragments. What is fragments? Fragments is, the definition is fragments is, it is more than a word, less than a sentence. So far we talked about only one word of an Arabic word. Imagine that you are building a house. So you have one piece of brick. So we talked about the brick. Now we want to bring 2 or 3 bricks together and put the cement on top. So fragments are like cement. How are we going to join these bricks? Once we have joined the bricks, then we have one fragment. And then we have multiple fragments together, we can have a wall. And once we have few walls, we can build a house, inshallah ta'ala, right? So just like this, the fragments are like cement. So you bring 2 words or maybe multiple words and we join them, okay? How are we going to join them? So that is the definition of fragments. A fragment is something that is more than a word, less than a sentence. And also we learn about 5 types of fragments, okay? I'm not going to give you the name today, so don't worry about remembering the names. So today we're going to start one type, then inshallah ta'ala in 5 weeks time, maybe inshallah ta'ala before Ramadan, we should be able to do the 5 types of fragments, inshallah ta'ala. Today's fragment is called idafa. That is the most important, one of the most important fragment is called idafa. Okay, remember the name idafa. What is idafa? Look at this English fragments. Okay, these are not sentences. The car of Ronnie, it's not a sentence. It's not a full sentence. It's just something. So you can ask, okay, the car of Ronnie, what? Is it old? Is it new? Is it expensive? What are you talking about? Okay. Also the day of judgment. It's a fragment. Okay. So there are a few words here. The day, the judgment. Okay. The house of Allah. Okay, Ali's book, our masjid. So all these are example of fragments. Okay, they are not a full sentence, but you can see one of the common thing of this sentence. What is this common thing? Can anybody guess?
It's possessive.
Possessive, and what is the word you find common in this? Off. Off, right? So all of them is off. This one doesn't have off, but it's a hidden off. Because apostrophe off means off. Book of Ali, right? This is same. Our masjid, there's no off here, but this is masjid of ours, right? So off is there, all of them is off. So idafa is the joining of off basically. So in idafa, before we go there, actually, there are three kinds of ways of offs in English. It's very simple, you don't have to look at and read all the things. There are three ways in English we can say off, where the off is very clear, like the car off Ronnie. You can see the off in the sentence. Other way is the possession, like the brother said, like his, her, my, your, their. These are all possession, meaning there's a hidden off there. So if I say is their clock, okay, meaning the clock of theirs, okay. If I say is his house, so house of his, okay. My pen, pen of mine, right? So all these things are possession. So these are one way to say off. The third way to say off is apostrophe s, like Allah's house. We said Abdullah's computer. All these ones actually are also off. So there are three ways to say off in English, but in Arabic there's only one way to say off. Okay, and the off, off, there is no Arabic for off. So the Arab doesn't like to write off. Okay, so that's why they use idafa construction. Idafa construction to make a fragment like this. So in English has three ways to say off, but in Arabic they are only all the same. In Arabic there is only one way of saying off, by using a idafa. The idafa has two parts. Obviously, as you can see the fragments, we can see there are two parts. The mudaf is the word before the off. So the car of Ronnie. The word before the off is called mudaf. So what is the mudaf? The car of Ronnie. Brother Shabbi, tell me. The car is of mudaf, because that is before the off, right? And the thing that comes after the off is called mudaf ilayh. Okay? So the Ronnie is mudaf ilayh. Same way if I say our masjid. Our masjid. So what will be the mudaf? Brother, tell me. The word before the off. Our masjid doesn't have off, so you have to think in the mind. Masjid, yes, masjid will be mudaf, and our will be mudaf ilay. So that is, in short, that is mudaf and mudaf ilay. Now, we just have mudaf and mudaf ilay, and the off is implied to be between the two. So as I said, this one. So now there are only few rules about mudaf, mudaf ilay. How are you going to look at the Quran? You open the Quran and you read two words. How are you going to know? Is it mudaf, mudaf ilay? Because here we have English example. So that's why we know. I am telling you the English example, that's so you can imagine. But how are we going to know in Arabic? Because probably you don't know all the meaning of the Arabic words. So it's very difficult for you to know. So that's why the vocabulary has to increase, and also you need to know some rules. Let's look at the rules. So there are few rules about the idafa that we need to remember. There are two parts, as I mentioned already, idaf and mudaf ilayh. Walaikum assalam. Nothing comes between mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Meaning, when there is two words come together and construct a idafa, these two words in between, nothing will be there. They must be one after another. They must be one after another. You cannot have a mudaf and then few things and the mudaf ilay. No, you cannot have it. These two come together. So that's rule number one. That's rule number one. Okay, mudaf, mudaf ilay must be each other, beside each other. Okay. Also, the mudaf. What is mudaf? The word before the off. The mudaf must be light. What is light? We just said before. The light word doesn't have tanween, and also it shouldn't have like no noon sound at the end. Like muslimuna cannot be light. Muslimu is a light one. Okay? Okay? But not this one. So remember, that's why we say the previous lessons are important. So the mudaf, the word before the off, must be light, and it cannot have al at the beginning. So any word that starts with an al cannot be a mudaf. Cannot be a mudaf. So if you look at a word, if you say starts with an al, that means no, it cannot be a mudaf. Okay? That is the word before the of. That is the rule for this. There is two rules for mudaf. It has to be light. It cannot have alif lam. For mudaf ilayhi, only one rule to remember. The mudaf ilayhi has to be always in the jar status. Because that's what we say in the definition of jar, right? Anything that comes after the of must be jar. Meaning it has to be in jar status. And how do you know status? Remember, you have to remember the chart. You have to remember the chart. Also, you have to remember the flexibility that we did before. So these are the only three rules. If you know this rule, inshallah we'll do some exercise and you will see how you can easily say this is a mudaf ilayhi. Okay? Because you have 5 fragments to learn about. So if you don't know the difference between the fragments, then when you read the Quran, it's very hard for you to translate. Once you know the mudaf ilayhi, you know okay how to translate this. So if I will say some translation, because we know there is a hidden of. In Arabic there is no of. So if you say, oh, this word is mudaf and this is the mudaf ilayh, and they come together, they are sitting beside each other, there's nothing in between them, and this one is light, doesn't have al, and this one doesn't have, this is the jar status, so must be their mudaf ilayh, and you can translate by yourself at that time. And that is the main purpose. So when you hear these things, you will translate this one. Like for example, Rabbil Alamin. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Rabbil, the word Rabbil, does it have al before? No. Right? Rabbi, is it light or heavy? Light. Because there is no tanween. Do you see any noon sound? There is a Rabbun, Rabban, no? Rabbi. And then Al-Amin. And actually it's the word Al-Amina. So Al-Amina, like Muslimina, is a jar. So that is a mudaf ilayh. And what is Rabbil Alamin means? Everybody knows. Lord of the worlds. So what is the mudaf?
Lord.
The Lord. And mudaf ilayh? The worlds. So Alamin. So the Alamin is the next, and Rabbil is the. So we'll see some few examples today, and tomorrow we'll do some exercise, and also we're gonna go through our exam inshallah tomorrow. So let's look at some examples, then inshallah we can quickly finish. Kitabullah. Everybody knows the meaning, right? Kitabullah, meaning the book of Allah. Look at this. The kitabu is light, and it doesn't have alif lam. Am I right? You don't see the alif lam. Does it al-kitab? No. Also, it's not kitabun, it's not kitaban, it's not kitabin. So it's kitabu, and Allah, the word Allah is here, jar. If I used to say kitabullah, would it be mudaf ilayh? No. Why? Because the word Allah, the rule is it has to be jar. The word Allah has to be jar. It must have a fatha. Sorry, kasra, not fatha. No. If I say kitabullahu, no, it's not mudaf ilayh, it's something else. We're going to learn about it later on, okay? But for this one, kitabullahi is a mudaf and mudaf ilayh, because it is the following all the rules. That doesn't have, it's a light, no alif lam for the mudaf. So the book of Allah and the word Allah is in the status jar. Look at this word. Maryamu bintun. Okay, Maryamu. Does it have alif lam? No. Is it in light?
Yes.
It is light, right?
Move.
Okay. It's not because of mu, because it's a non-Arab name. Non-Arab name is mostly light. But the second word, so the first word fulfill 2 conditions. No alif lam and light. Okay. Second word, which is going to be mudaf ilayh, is called bintun. Is it jar, rafa or nasab? It's a rafa version. It's like muslimun. So can it be mudaf ilayh? No, because it doesn't fulfill. So it is not a mudaf ilayh. Okay. So the first we look at the mudafa, which is Maryama, is light. Yes, it does not have tanween. Does it have al? No. So far it looks good. Next we look at the word mudaf ilayh. The bintun is jar status? No, it is in the rafa status. So this is not a mudaf ilayh. Okay. This one. Qawma Nuhin. Is the qawma, is it light? Yes, of course it's light. No tanween. Okay. Does it have al? No, it doesn't have al. Nuhin. No. The Nuh is the prophet named Nuh. Is it jar? Yes, it is jar. It is jar Nuhin, okay? Because is Nuh is fully flexible or partly flexible?
Only partly flexible.
No, it's fully flexible.
Yes, why?
Arabic name.
No. It's an exception. Your answer, half answer is right. It is fully flexible but not Arab name. It's a non-Arab name because imagine when Nuh was calm, there's no language called Arab, you know. The Arab is not even written.
That was given.
But it's exception. Nuh and Lut is exception. We say the exception. So Qauma Nuhin means, then what's the meaning of this? Qaum means what? Like a tribe. People. So people of Nuh. See, you can translate now. Alhamdulillah. See. Next one. Rasulullah. We always say this. Rasulullah. Rasulu. Is it light? Yes. Does it have alif lam? No. And what Allahi is also jar. So the Rasul of Allah. Rasulullah. Okay. Another example. Laylatul Qadri. Very soon inshallah ta'ala we'll have Laylatul Qadr. Okay. Laylatul Qadr. Layla is the night. Does it have alif lam? No. Okay. Does it is it light? Yes. Okay. But does it matter if the word Rafa Nasab or Jar? It doesn't matter. You just look for two things. Alif lam or light. Does it matter Laila ta, Laila tu, Laila ti? It doesn't matter. As long as no alif lam and no tanween, it is fulfill the condition of mudaf. So it's a mudaf, so far it is mudaf. Al Qadri, although there is al, but for mudaf ilay do you need to check al? No. You only need to check if this word is in jar status. Is it jar status? Yes. We will finish him with kasra. So this is mudaf ilay. And what is Laylatul Qadri means? The night of power, or the simple language, the night of Qadr. The last example for today. Ghafurun Rahimun. Allahu Ghafurur Rahim. Right?
No.
It's not mudaf ilay. Why? Because the first one has tanween. So it is not Ghafur of Rahim. It's the translation. What is Ghafur Rahim means? Allah is forgiving and merciful. There's two things we're talking about. We're not saying that Ghafur of Rahim. So it is not mudaf ilay. Because this has tanween, we said it's a heavy word. Ghafurun is a heavy word. It doesn't have alif lam, but it is a heavy word. So one of the condition is not fulfilled. So it is not. And also Rahimun is not jar. What is the status of Rahimun? Rafa. Because like Muslimun, Rahimun, right? So the Rafa status. So that's why it is not mudaf ilay. So this is our first fragment. Next, tomorrow inshallah we'll do this kind of example more. Okay, some tricky ones also, inshallah. Because today's one a very simple one. And also we'll go through our exam that we have taken last week, the answers of the exam inshallah. So this is the first fragment, mudaf ilay. And inshallah you will find so many mudaf ilay. Starting from Fatiha, everywhere Quran is full of mudaf ilay. The off. So if you read the Quran, you can put it off by yourself, and okay, this is of this. Book of Allah, house of Allah, Baitullah, and all these words are mudaf ilay. Just to finish, there's no alif lam in the mudaf, the word before the waf, and it must be light, and the mudaf ilay is only one condition, it has to be in jar status. So jazakallah khairan, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.